your bad habit? Procrastinating, overeating, skipping the gym, or biting your nails, or maybe smoking? Are you tired of these bad habits taking over your life? Today we're going to be kicking off these bad habits once and for all with 3 simple steps to get rid of bad habits fast. So get ready to take control of your life and supercharge your self-improvement journey. Hi there family and friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Apsara and I'm from UK, currently living in USA. In this channel, we discover tools and tips that help us live happier, healthier and more productive lives. Most of us struggle with bad habits like procrastinating, biting your nails, messing with your hair, skipping the gym, smoking, and for me, it was using my phone for hours on end at bedtime. So when we're struggling with bad habit, it almost occurs as a natural inclination and we're almost on autopilot. Like my hand will automatically go to the phone without me having to think about it. And when we're trying to fight our bad habits, we commonly do it with willpower. And we may succeed for day 1 and day 2 and maybe day 3 if we're lucky. But eventually our willpower will run out and we're back to square one. Often we may conclude with a lot of negative talk about I'm just not good enough, I wish I was somebody else who's more disciplined, and this, that, and the other. Now for us to fight bad habits, let's try to understand what exactly they are and how they are formed before we get into how we can beat them. So let's look at how habits are formed. Habits are formed with some positive reinforcement, like it's pleasurable. So let's say I find a nice big slice of a chocolate cake and I eat that cake. What's going to happen in my brain? I'm going to have a dopamine party. My brain is going to realize that eating that cake is good, it's going to make me happy, and it's going to register it as something that I need to do again. So the next time I see chocolate cake, I know exactly what to do. But over time, my brain is going to do something different. Like the first time I said, when I eat that chocolate cake, it's going to give me a dopamine hit and I'm going to feel good. But as I keep repeating that action over and over again, my brain is going to build a pathway called a habit pathway. So once that pathway has been built, I may no longer get pleasure from eating that chocolate cake, but I won't be able to stop myself. An example can be that if you have the habit of playing video games after school, let's say, or after when you get back from work, you know you're not going to enjoy playing your video game after an hour or after 2 hours because your eyes are going to get sore, you're going to get a headache, and you know you don't enjoy it anymore. You don't get that dopamine hit anymore, but you still can't find yourself to stop it because at this point your behavior reinforcement has moved to an automatic state and you do it without having to think about it. So let's talk about what is habit. Habit is an unconscious behavior. For example, biting your nails. You don't have to think about biting your nails. You don't suddenly think, oh, that looks delicious, let me go and bite my nails. But it just automatically happens. So it's unconscious behavior. Scientists describe habits as behaviors that are performed regularly and cued subconsciously in response to certain environment, whether it is location, time of day, or even emotional state. So what I mean by that is your habits can also be triggered by your environment or your emotional state. For example, some people may play with their hair when they're feeling nervous. So feeling nervous is your cue. Or some people may want to eat sugary snacks when they're watching TV. So that environment, that living room, the comfortable sofa can be your cue of triggering your habit. So for me, bedtime is my trigger to go for my phone. I no longer enjoy it. I no longer want to spend hours on end on my phone, and I know I'm gonna get a headache tomorrow morning, I'm not gonna get enough sleep, but I can't find myself to stop it. I hate it. I want to fight it so bad. So eventually your cue, your behavior, and the reward will outpace your decision-making ability. But habits are not always a bad thing. They are stored memories that has worked in the past. It also helps us work swiftly without having to waste a lot of our mental energy. Studies have shown that an average person will spend 40% of their day operating on habits. For example, your morning routine. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth and the next thing to do is to shower. It all happens on autopilot. You can do all of your morning tasks while you're thinking about something else. Or driving. You can drive, you automatically check your mirrors, you know when to pull the gear, when to brake, and you could be listening to music on the side and doing it. That helps us save a lot of our time and our precious mental energy. So now that we have learned what habits are, how they are formed, now we are better equipped to start changing them. Let's get to it. Step number 1 is self-awareness. Before we fight our enemy, it's very important to understand them. I would suggest you to get pen and paper and write down your most pressing bad habit that you want to get rid of. Try to put it down in words because it makes it official. Anything you put down in words, I think, makes it official. Write down what you want to get rid of and also think about the cues. What makes you do that bad habit? For me, it is bedtime and using my phone. Using my phone is a bad habit that I want to get rid of, and bedtime was my cue. Step number 2 is out with the old and in with the new. Instead of just trying to quit your bad habit, try to replace it with something more positive. So for example, if I was to suddenly cut off my phone usage at bedtime, I would probably end up staring at the ceiling, being completely blank and not knowing what I'm going to do. And it's also going to create a very confused state when we suddenly cut off something off of our life that we're so used to. I decided to replace my phone usage with a book. I get entertained with both my phone and my book. So instead of just cutting off the phone, I have now a book to read every night at bedtime. Step number 3 is weaning yourself off of the bad habit. In step 2, I told you to replace your bad habit with the good. But it's still not easy and it can be difficult. We don't have a magic wand and it doesn't happen overnight. So what you can do is we can wean yourself off of it. So what I did is, for my first week of trying to get rid of my phone usage, I gave myself an hour to use my phone. And then the second week I reduced it to half an hour and eventually down to 0. So you can do that for yourself too. Wean yourself off of bad habit. So there you have it, your ultimate guide to 3 ways to get rid of bad habits fast. Remember, it's all about self-awareness, replacement, and weaning yourself off. Getting rid of bad habits isn't easy, but with strategies and guide that we talked about today, you're on your way to making a positive change. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button, share it with anyone who needs to hear this, put a comment down on the habits that you're trying to get rid of, and hit the subscribe button. And if you did any of those above, I think you'll definitely like my previous video about why being bored is good for you. Do check it out. It's something you will enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, the learning we've uncovered today is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next video.